And we are live. Hello and welcome to a live stream episode of the Benefit of the Doud. I am currently on location in sunny San Jose, California, where I have just attended Samsung Unpacked for January 2025 and come away with a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and here it is.
Ooh, it's very shiny.
Ooh. Meanwhile, Cliff is freezing up in sunny Virginia, where it is 19 degrees,
Mm.
and he is probably going to die of hypothermia before this
If
broadcast
I
is
just
over.
suddenly look like this, then you'll know what happened. But that's okay. I'm
I was
fine.
gonna say you're gonna have like crystals growing on you, like at the end of
Actually,
The
just
Shining.
just just as a very small aside, real quick, as my sister-in-law sent a picture. She lives in Minnesota, and she likes to run, and sent up, or at least she posted on Facebook. She had ice crystals on her eyebrows and like on her nose, and yeah, I'm just like, you were a beast. Thanks, not me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good out there, people. Like it was in the 60s here in San
I
Jose,
hate you.
and that's a little cold. But no, actually, like I learned last time I was here, San Francisco is actually a fairly
Mhm,
cold city because like the desert like sucks in all the heat,
mhm.
and like the wind rushing in from over the ocean to like fill that gap actually makes the city like colder than you would normally associate with California.
Why it's always foggy, I think, actually, in San Fran. Yeah.
And speaking of freezing, I am on hotel Wi-Fi, so we have no idea how this
Uh,
broadcast is going to go.
it'll be
Um,
fine.
but yeah, so huge thanks to Samsung who flew me out here and took me to the SAP Center, which I think is where their hockey game, the hockey player, I think the Sharks, San Jose
Sharks,
Sharks, if I'm
yeah,
not wrong.
mhm.
I think that's where they play, the SAP Center. And I was sitting up in the nosebleeds. It was kind of fun. Yeah, in addition to, so today Samsung announced the Samsung Galaxy S25, S25 Plus, S25 Ultra. All three are retaining their original price points from last year, which is good news. So 799, 999, and 1299. And they also one more thing does at the very end to
Oh,
announce the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge, which
oh, I
is
didn't
like,
see that.
yeah, it's basically like a super thin Galaxy S25 Plus. And they also kind of showed off the project. Oh crap! I don't remember the name of it. Project Mumu or some crap like that. It's the AR glasses, XR glass
Gotcha,
platform
gotcha.
things,
Yeah, this
which
does seem
I
to
didn't
be
honestly didn't even see.
it's definitely, you were at CES, 2025, and it seemed like the major theme, at least in terms of tech, a lot of it was like augmented reality and VR and smart glasses. So
It really,
that seems on
I
on theme for 2025 so far for tech.
Yeah, at CES, I had so many companies saying, "Hey, you want to try a demo?" And I'm like, "I'm not putting the thing on my face that has been on 1,000 other faces. No, thank you." They're like, "Well, we sanitize it." I'm like, "I doubt it. I doubt you do it that well." But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk
Right.
about this bad boy right here.
The
Now,
big boy.
physically, there's not a whole lot different from the S24. They narrowed up the bezels, so you're getting an extra zero point 0.1 inches on the display. And they also rounded the corners, which was so
Yes,
absolutely needed.
yes.
I forget, did you spend time with the S24 Ultra?
No, but I did spend time with the, S23 and S22, but they've had that squared off
Okay.
design language for a while, which aesthetically I like, but especially on a big phone, those tend to eat into your hands on the corners. Yeah.
Right, right. And
Ooh,
so this one is more rounded, which is nice. One little kind of quirk about it is because the corner is rounded, it kind of goes up against the S Pen here. So the S Pen kind of sticks out just a touch. But
compromises
also,
must be
interestingly
made.
enough, they removed Bluetooth functionality from the S Pen. So there's no battery, it's all passive now.
I don't know
Which
how I feel about that.
it was a choice. um, but the other notable physical characteristics is 12 gigabytes of RAM across the board, regardless of trim level. So base levels 12 megabytes, top levels 12 megabytes. The S25 Ultra goes up to a terabyte of storage. This one is a 256 model. This is silver blue. All of their colors have like multiple colors. Like there's an ivy white
Yeah,
and the silver
yeah.
black and the silver blue. So, but this is the silver blue, which I quite like. And I'm noticing that I'm losing the sunlight, so we better hurry up on this. Let's see. The other notable characteristic is the 50. I think it's this one of these is a 50 megapixel ultra wide sensor rather
Oh,
than I
wow.
think it's 12 megapixel.
12 is what it was before. Yeah, as far as I remember.
So forgive me if I'm pointing at the wrong lenses, but I'm fairly sure it's 50 megapixel ultra wide, 200 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel 5x zoom, and then 10 megapixel 3x zoom, because this little fucker, I guess nobody likes that. But
Four cameras. Okay.
yeah, it is Qi 2 compatible. There are no magnets in the phone because they said that they like to
Buy
keep.
our cases.
Yeah, they said everybody's going to put it on their phone. They also want to keep their phones thin and light. And I'm not sure, but I seem to remember another company that also likes to keep their phones thin
Hmm.
and light that actually did put magnets in it. The
Yeah.
name escapes me. I can't remember. But anyway,
Although I will say, like watching the some hands on it, I remember seeing it was percentages thinner than the previous Ultra. So
yeah, it is thinner. It is also 15 grams lighter.
yeah.
The S25 Ultra is. The 25 and the 25 Plus are both like single digit grams lighter. But yeah, so it's a little bit thinner. It's a little bit
Mhm.
lighter. The battery is the same, 5,000 milliamp hours. I've actually I had the spec sheet open here so that I could read off all of it, but then I think I closed that window, so I guess
That's all
never
right.
mind. But so I did take a walk around San Jose. I had a couple of photo samples that I wanted to show off here. So let me go ahead and bring this
Lovely
up.
San Jose.
Yeah, lovely San Jose. And then I'm not going to be able to see what's going on the screen, so bear with me if anything goes goofy. Um, but okay, so this is just so we were. I was out with Nirav Gandia, who's House of Tech and
Mhm.
various freelancing outlets. So this is the ultra wide camera. I'm just kind of sitting on steps, shooting across the street at this clock that you can see kind of in the middle here. So that's the main camera. That's 2x. That's 3x. That is 5x.
Wow.
That is 30x, and
Wow.
this is 100x.
Holy cow. That's
So yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So there's got some stuff, and then since I had it with me, I also took out the OnePlus 13.
Mm.
So that is the OnePlus 13 ultra wide, 1x, 2x, 3x, 6x, 30x, and 120x for the OnePlus.
I mean,
And
that's
so
good. This feels that definitely feels more processed.
it feels more processed, and especially like around like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
casing of the metal, it just
Smoothed.
kind of feels like it was. Yeah, it feels like it was smoothed over. Whereas
Yeah.
with the Samsung,
Right.
that's just a damn good photo. I mean, really,
I mean, it also
it's
feels like the
yeah.
lighting is definitely way. I mean, it was super contrasty on the OnePlus, just from me looking at it on a stream,
Mhm.
and but yeah. So please continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And just, for viewers, I'm going to continue collecting photo samples. I'm going to take a selection of those. We'll put those in the description down below, probably like on Friday-ish neighborhood. So we're going to go exploring San Francisco tomorrow. A group
Very
of us
cool.
are going to go walk around and find some landmarks and stuff. So there will be plenty of photos between now and then. But yeah, so that's that.
So if I remember right, also
Um,
while you're
oh yeah.
transitioning, it's also the same commitment to software updates, right? Like, so 7 years of
Seven
OS.
years of OS and security updates.
It's so
So
good.
yeah, and that kind of explains like where Samsung is positioning this phone.
Mhm.
this is not necessarily a phone that you're going to get if you have an S24 Ultra or
Right.
even maybe an S23 Ultra. If you're like S22, now it's time to upgrade.
Mm,
That's kind of where Samsung is positioning this. This is no longer, I mean, it's a yearly cycle, of course. Um, but Samsung, Samsung says, people are holding onto their phones longer. So if you have an older phone, now's, you can use this one as a good upgrade. One other thing I didn't mention about the inside was the Snapdragon 8 Elite 4 Galaxy
right.
processor that is in here. Samsung made a point to say that they worked with Qualcomm to build a whole new application processor this time around.
Mm,
Um, you know, to get like percentage upgrades over previous generations of the phone. What that's actually going to amount to, it's kind of nebulous because I mean, Samsung kind of said the same thing
right.
last year.
Right.
They seem to put more emphasis on like working with Qualcomm to like build this, for specifically AI, and that naturally transitions us into
Right.
the AI portion of this episode because my my dudes, there was a lot of it.
Right.
I'm gonna kind of yada yada over a couple of the things. One thing that they have is a now bar, which I want to say the now bar is not
Feels
new,
like
but
what
they
I
look at
want when
did
I go to a bar. Just can I have the now bar? Like not waiting?
right. So, but they put it like on the lock screen, and it's. I'm trying to figure out like how to bring it up and show you. Maybe I have to like put in a widget or something, but um,
It also
it
seemed
has
like just
appeared.
in the overview, it was like a lot of Bing stuff, or not Bing, I'm sorry, Bixby sort of coming back out into the
Yeah,
front again. Yeah.
right, right. But so the now bar is kind of like excuse me, it's kind of like live activities on the iPhone. It's a little bit more though because it does like a morning summary for you, like here's everything you have coming up, here's your
Ah,
commute, here's the weather, stuff like that, and then it
that's
does an evening
contextual.
summary, like here's everything you did
Mm,
today. And then like it'll do the same thing like Apple, like pull up like news stories that you might be interested in, stuff like that. So that's all potentially kind of cool, but that's the kind of thing that you need to use this phone for like
mhm.
weeks or even months to really start to get a hold of to what it does. One cool thing that they're bringing, and this I don't believe this is going to be unique to Samsung phones forever, but at least it is for now, is this cross app. What was the actual name of it? Cross app something. My notebook is over there.
It was,
Basically,
yeah.
what it allows you to do is you can use Gemini to perform multiple actions in one command. So, like some of the things that I did were with the
And
demo
across,
unit.
just very quickly, and across
Yeah,
multiple
yeah,
apps.
right, exactly. I'm sorry. That's the whole point.
Right.
Is
Right.
you can do this across multiple apps. So, like a couple of things that I did yesterday was, look up the Cubs spring training schedule and add it to my calendar.
Hmm.
So it has to go out on the web, find the Cubs spring training camp, and add it to your calendar. And then you could say something like, um, uh, add the Cubs first home game schedule to my calendar and invite Mike, Leo, and Bruno to come with.
Right.
And it'll add the thing to your calendar and then compose a text message to your friends to say, like, hey, here's this game we're gonna all go to, and it's gonna be a
Which
great time.
Which can I say just real quickly is seems like, in the last like 2 years of AI becoming so much of a zeitgeist in our for those of us that pay attention to tech and culture, like I feel so much better about that than just like a chat, a more advanced AI
Like a
chat
chat
assistant.
GPT type
Right,
thing. Yeah.
right. It feels more useful in everyday kind of
It
stuff.
really, it really does. Now, it should be mentioned that not all of those commands were executed perfectly. When I asked Gemini to add the Cubs spring training schedule to my calendar, it added a single event that went from mid-February until March 31st that said Cubs spring training schedule, which was, not exactly what I was shooting for.
Yeah.
When I asked it to invite, Billy, Joey, and Luca to the first game of the Cubs, it added it to the calendar, and then it composed a message to the first name And then at the end of the text message, it said, by the way, we're inviting blah and blah too. But it never actually composed the messages to
Right.
those other two people. So, like, it's very AI. Sometimes it
Eh,
works great. Sometimes it
yeah.
work doesn't. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work at all. But yeah. So between that and like this now bar, there Samsung is building what it's calling a personal information. Hang on a second.
Let's go get the
Let's go get
verbiage
the book.
from Samsung. Yeah.
Personal data engine, which is they described it kind of like a personal LLM that
Mhm.
you're building with like your stuff.
I like the
Um,
idea of that. Yeah, that's very cool.
yeah, and
Is it
it's all
local to the
done
phone?
locally on the device.
Okay. All right,
Um,
cool.
it cannot be transferred to another phone except using Samsung Smart Switch, which is for normal people that's kind of fine, but for you and
Mhm.
me it kind of sucks. But also if you like damage your phone you can't get it off, so like it's just kind of gone. So I think it's a good first step.
Yeah, yeah, I
What
like
I
the idea
think
of it.
we need I think what we need to solve is like how can we make that more portable? And like I'm all about data portability. And so like having something locked in on a single platform,
Yeah.
not amazing. And speaking of which, one other example that Samsung said, which is just a little wild, but also a little, Samsung. They said if you're wearing a ring and a smartwatch, they said 42% of Americans use a TV to help them fall asleep, which kind of sounds right. I do. And they said, like if you forget to turn on the sleep timer, I mean, there's a reason that TVs have sleep timers.
Right,
Uh,
right.
but if you forget to turn it on, then like the TV will help you fall asleep, but then it'll like disrupt your sleep while you're sleeping. So what they did was they built functionality into smart things where your watch and or your ring can tell when you're falling asleep, and then once it detects that you're asleep it'll lower the volume over a period of about 10 seconds and then turn off the TV.
Is this such an Apple-esque kind of thing? Because it assumes that you also have what I'm guessing is a Samsung TV too. So if you're
Right,
bought into all that ecosystem, it's which I mean,
right.
fine, fine. Like, I mean, I don't see how they could implement that any other way, but yeah,
Yeah,
because
and so
smart
it's
things.
in my hands-on article for Slash Gear I put, is that cool? Yes. Do you need to have a Samsung watch, a Samsung phone, and a Samsung TV? Also yes. So um but I mean, it's that kind of thing that, and I really think like if anything, Unpacked made me realize that I think I need to give smart things a little bit more
Yeah.
of a chance.
I wonder,
I've been using like Google.
do you have to have a hub for it anymore? Because I know that was a thing in the past. I haven't used smart things
Oh, I don't
as
know.
my well, we'll
I
talk
don't
about
think
that.
so.
Maybe if we do an actual review of the smartphone, we'll talk about that because I know we're just doing the hands-on right now, and it's a lot of stuff. But yeah, so you've been
Right.
in San Jose. You've only you went hands-on with the three smartphones, but right now you've only got the Ultra in your hands. Do you have anything else
That
that
is
maybe?
correct.
Do you have anything that's like as an experience to say about the other two that you know before we?
Um, the cosmetic changes to the other two are even more minor than the
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
to the Ultra, because the other ones already had the rounded corners.
right, right.
Um, and like I mean kind of the cool thing like that I like about the cameras here is like they added this rim around the camera
Mhm,
modules, which is the same thing that they did to the Fold and the Flip, so it kind of gives the cameras a little bit of extra character.
mhm.
I have the I think this is the S24 Plus here, and like you can see with the cameras like there's just a little rim around it, like
Right,
it's
right,
not
right.
a big thing.
Yeah.
So it's nice. I like the fact that they kept the same price for all three. Um,
Well, but they also went up last year. So I mean, yeah, it's good that they did that, but
right.
12.99 is the starting price for the Ultra, which I'm not saying that it's not worth that. I'm just saying that it's still a very expensive phone.
It is
$300
a very
more than
expensive.
the next step down. And I am currently reviewing the OnePlus 13R, which is,
Hmm.
basically less than you can buy two of those for less than the price of the 12 Ultra.
Yes,
I'm
yes, you
not
can.
saying that it's not worth it. I'm just saying that, you have choices. But
It's a
yeah,
lot.
it seems like yeah, it is. So and I mean, you're almost creeping when you get up to that price. I mean, you have to assume you're a fairly wealthy person, or at least your carrier loves you and they're willing to give you a really great discount. But at that
You have a
point, you could
favorable
also,
carrier contract. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're
And
approaching foldable territory there.
yeah, and not surprisingly, like all the carriers have like huge deals. Like
Yeah,
AT&T has like a, turn in any phone, any condition, get a free like base or plus, and then
right.
or like a super cheap
I
S21
mean,
Ultra. That's the only one that jumps to mind. But
but
um,
just keep in mind too that, like, as an example, I just bought the Watch Ultra, which we just reviewed, and they're like, any smartwatch in any condition, here's $250 off. So,
right,
consult Samsung.com as well. And usually, do they
yeah,
have any bespoke colors this year, like outside of what carriers?
they do have Samsung exclusive colors. I have a photo of those. I couldn't tell you what they are off the top of my
Okay,
head.
but they do have
Actually,
them. So okay,
yeah. Yeah, they do. They do. So, but yeah, I think that's kind of where we are. I'm losing light here, so
yeah, yeah.
we're
I know
probably and
we're
my
looking to wrap
laptop's
up here.
gonna
So
die pretty soon anyway. But yeah, I think that's gonna like wrap it up. Did you have any like last questions that you wanted to ask or that
no,
you can think of or
I think you're gonna have a lot more thoughts once you actually get a chance to use the phone for more than a day. And
right?
honestly, I will just say that just from the few camera samples that you saw, I was very impressed with the zoom on the S25 Ultra. So I mean,
Yeah,
and watching I watched some overviews from some other competitor. I guess we call them competitors to our channel, but friends of the channel, whatever you want to call them. But of some of the AI stuff, and I actually, yeah, kind of with AI stuff, I always kind of shrug my shoulders because AI has just become such a it's kind of like X was as like a letter, like everybody used X with everything back in
right.
2001. It's just kind of like AI everything, but no, those actually feel like genuinely useful features, especially if you're really bought into the Samsung ecosystem. So yeah, I
Some of
mean,
them, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
mhm,
But yeah, and I think arguably the most exciting thing about Samsung Unpacked was meeting MKBHD.
yeah, it's kind of hard to see there, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway,
Ma-
yeah. So it was kind of a funny story. Like I walked up to him. I'm like, hey, we met once like over 10 years ago at a moto event. So hi.
Hi. Well,
but
so this
uh,
is one of
but
the
anyway,
few
yeah,
chances where we've had a chance to do a, because hotel Wi-Fi is always kind of the limiting factor, and yours just happened to be decent tonight. But yeah,
yeah,
thanks for giving us a close preview of of what's going on with the S25 Ultra, and I know we can look forward to reviews from you from all the different places where you are putting out, or at least some of the places where you're putting out content, and
yeah.
yeah, enjoy
S25
beautiful.
Ultra review will be on Slash Gear probably early next week.
Okay.
So watch for it there.
Right. And I'm sure you'll see some additional content from us as far as Samsung related stuff. Did they launch any new earbuds
No,
or okay,
no.
so it was
All
just
they did, all they
all
launched was all phones,
okay.
all phones, all the
Interesting.
time.
That's kind of
Well, I mean,
unusual for Unpacked, but
they did earbuds and they did a tablet. They did earbuds and
true
they
in the
did a
fall.
laptop and a tablet
Yeah.
and like a whole bunch of other stuff last summer. So it would have been super quick turnaround if they had launched
Yeah,
anything.
for
Oh, and
sure.
and watches last year. So
Right,
yeah.
right, right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Maybe I'll close out this one. Well, thanks every guy. Every guy. What is going on here?
Every guy. Thank you, every guy.
Thanks, every guy. Thanks everybody for who may have joined us live.
Yep.
And this was kind of a spur of the moment thing. You and I talked about this, maybe doing this yesterday. Like I said, it was dependent on Wi-Fi. One of the things that I want to reiterate is that when you go into when you go into what is it, YouTube Create, I guess is their app, you can see the percentage of
Oh yeah.
people that are subscribed versus not. And right now it's like 3%. So we would love for you guys that are, as an example, watching this tonight, you're obviously invested in us or and like our content. So if you're not subscribed and just saw this pop up, please like and
Like
subscribe
it.
to our
Share
videos.
it.
Absolutely. Please share it. every single one of those, you would be surprised how much it matters because of the YouTube algorithm. So we appreciate you viewing, and if you're seeing this later, because we are going to put this out on the channel, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, we will see you then.
Oh, hi there. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, then you obviously liked what you saw. So why not take it a few small steps further? How about you drop a thumbs up on this video and maybe hit that subscribe button?
And while you're there, move that pointer over a few pixels and click the bell. All of that will ensure that we get noticed on the YouTubes, and we can make more of these videos just for you.
And if you want to go even a little bit further, you can head over to patreon.com/benefitofthedoud and sign up for as little as just $2 per month. And for that, you'll get early access to our videos and some bonus content that we don't show on the main channel.
Plus, we're cooking up new perks and benefits all the time. So go to patreon.com/benefitofthedoud and sign up today.
That's patreon.com/benefitofthedoud. And as always, we thank you for watching and for giving us the benefit of the Doud.